I grew up poor. I saw all the things that other people discarded, and I knew they had value. I'm Many Wines, and I take my shit serious.
Did you know you can turn other people's junk into cold hard cash? We talked to 3 successful business owners who are doing just that with their junk removal businesses.
We started our business with $300.
Their businesses now make between $170,000 to over $2 million a year.
How we set ourselves apart is having our thrift store.
Join us as they share their best tips, tricks, and insights to help kickstart your own junk removal business.
All you need is a dolly, some straps, and you could rent a truck from U-Haul.
The biggest misconception in this industry is that we haul trash and garbage. So over the last 15 years, I've grown from a 700 square foot garage to a 27,000 square foot recycling facility. We do all the sorting for you, take it to donation facilities, recycle the metals. We keep hundreds of thousands of pounds of material out of the landfill every single year.
When you're just starting out, you won't need a huge warehouse like this right away. You can start by doing small curbside pickups and make about $300 per job.
When we first started off, one of the first mistakes we made is we actually thought we could just dispose of everything. So you always want to do your research and make sure what your dump takes and does not take. For example, chemicals, we cannot dispose of. Flammables or tires, cannot dispose of. If we go against the rules and we dump it anyways, we could receive a hefty fine. Those fines could range anywhere from $500 upwards of $5,000. We will keep the doors closed and just toss these items over, trying to put the light items on the bottom. For example, this heavy table will go on top of the pillows, the boxes, so it's not moving around. A big emphasis for us is making the process of booking super simple for our clients. This client reached out to us yesterday requesting a quote. Luckily for us, we just sent them out the jobber request form. They filled out all their information, attached some photos so we're on the same page. I got them a quote and we booked them for the next day. Typically for a pickup like this, we would be at about $300, including dump fees and everything else. But since the client went ahead and took it out curbside, we're gonna hook them up and drop down the price to $250.
Besides curbside pickups, residential junk removal is also a great service to offer. Let's tag along with Andy at his job site, where he'll show us the best ways to get it done.
Okay, the camera's on you. This is a big moment. Today we're out here in Sussex, Wisconsin. We're doing a full trailer for $799 for our customer here. She's getting ready to sell her house next week. One of the things that makes us successful here at Camo Crew Junk Removal is the fact that we use 24-foot box trucks in combination with traditional junk removal dump trucks. What this allows us to do is sort material right on the job, so we know what material is going to go direct to transfer station or landfill, and what material can go back to our facility to be recovered. Whenever we want to do junk removal, we always want to pull aside the stuff that stays within the house out of the pile to ensure we never go down the road with the stuff that the customer wants to keep. As we're loading trucks, we typically have one guy in the house and one guy on the truck. This allows one guy to continually bring material, evaluate where it goes. This allows us to be combat effective so we're not consistently going up and down or going in and out of a dump truck all day. It can certainly be wearing and tiring on the legs. But one of the things we do here at Camo Crew is take off legs off of furniture, take off doors off of the house. That way we open up as much space as possible and reduce the chance for damaging the material that we're moving or damaging the house. Whenever we're done with the job site, we always leave them broom swept clean. Understanding the professional level that the realtors want is one of the keys to making our company successful.
Like Andy, Jim tries to keep junk away from the landfill as much as possible. After running his junk removal business for 7 years, he noticed lots of thrift stores weren't taking large items like furniture. So 2 years ago, he opened up his own store.
So when we come back with the trailer full of stuff for donations, we separate obviously for the dump stuff and then the donation stuff. Furniture we'll always bring right into the store. Other things we'll bring into storage.
That's going right into the store. That's 20 bucks for that. Oh, Arkham Insane Asylum. I don't know if I want to be known as that, but.
Good morning, my name is Trevor and I'm the general manager of the Buddy with a Thrift Store. Our goal is to keep as much out of the landfill as we can and bring it in and get it reused so that people are benefiting from it. And it's also good for the environment. Nowadays, people can't afford a lot. So that's our goal, is to provide a good service to a lot of low income people. And we get a lot of street people that come in that in the winter that can't afford anything. So we give them clothing and shoes for free. And We've had people that have had fires in their houses. We've given them furniture, kitchenware, clothes to replace everything they've lost at no cost to them. So we're just trying to do a good thing for the community of Aldergrove and Langley.
How do you set prices for junk removal jobs?
So when it comes to pricing, you always want to keep a few things in mind. One, accessibility to the area. Is it first floor, third floor, elevator access? Two, how many items are you removing? Three, the location itself. Four, the weight of the items. Now that fourth one is a key because depending on your weight is what you're going to pay at the actual dump.
Pricing junk removal is simple. It all comes down to capacity. However much volume of our truck or trailers you take up, that's how we charge. Everything is based off of 16 cubic yards, which is the size of our trailer, is $800. We recognize that furniture in the front room or the garage is gonna load faster and take up more space than small items down in the basement. However, to make it simple for our clients and for our guys in the field, we price all based on capacity. And over time, it'll average it out.
The only thing that can mess you up is when something weighs a lot more than you thought. Like a piano, they're heavy. Usually our quote is our quote, but there was stuff that they added that wasn't in it. So I'm taking pictures when I quoted it. There was stuff that was underneath and some behind that I couldn't see. So that was partly my fault. So I wouldn't up my price for that. But then when there had blackberry bushes in the back, there's tons of garbage in there. That's a different story. I had to charge more for that one. When that happens, I always have to try to ask them for more money. I hate doing that. And they understood. They were fine with it, totally fine. And they were very happy with us. Our goal is to keep our profit margin around 25%.
Our goal is to stay right at 20% profitability. When you're at 20% throughout the year, year over year, you can make a healthy living, supporting your family and your community.
While these businesses are committed to reusing and recycling, a trip to the dump site is still an unavoidable part of the job. Let's head back to Los Angeles, where Ricardo will show us what to do at a dump site.
So we're at the dump/transfer site. First, we're gonna pull in. Between those cones is a scale. We'll get the weight of the whole truck plus the trash. So while at the dump, you always wanna, watch for your surroundings, not only when you're driving, backing in. Right now it's empty, but if it's busy, you'll have dump trucks on either side of you. Once that truck goes up, all that trash, there's no telling where it's gonna land. So just keep your distance. But now we're just gonna open up the doors and get this thing going. Pull it. Here at this dump, we're paying $75 minimum. It doesn't matter if I have a, single item, that's the minimum charge. And it's $75 every 2,000 pounds. Depending on your area, that price can vary. It can go all the way up to $135, just 30, 40 minutes from here. It's a pretty basic process. You come in, you get weighed, dump, come out, get weighed again, and I'm just gonna go to the office, pay, and that's it.
In Aldergrove, Jim shows us a fun trick on how to manage your dump site visits.
So this pool table is a slate pool table. It can't go to the Aldergrove dump because they have these bins that you dump them into and they won't allow that much weight in one point. So we have to go to the Surrey dump to do this, which is another half an hour away from here. So we're gonna just sledgehammer it and bust it up into pieces and then we can take it to Aldergrove.
Tricks of the trade.
Yep.
Well, that was fun, and maybe a little therapeutic. Now that you know the ins and outs of junk removal, let's dive into how you can get customers.
15 years ago, I found my first customer. His name was Wally Bass. He's since passed. He was a realtor before I even knew what realtors really were. I was picking up a hot water heater on Oakland Drive. I started loading in my truck, and this old gentleman comes out and he had a microwave. And I said, I'll take that too. He goes, what else do you take? I go, what else do you got? Wally Bass was my very first customer outside of friends or family that gave me a chance in junk removal. That's funny. Wally Bass! Shout out Wally.
So the way we got our first clients was actually posting on all the free platforms. We posted in all our local Facebook groups and offered pickups. Besides that, I let families and friends know about our services, and a lot of them were actually interested.
Here at Camo Crew Junk Removal, over 50% of our new business comes from our relationship with the community. Whether it's networking, referrals, it's all about getting to know the people in our local area. Today, we're partnering with Luminate Home Loans at a brunch and learn for realtors. This is what leads to our phone ringing.
All right, next up, we have the Camo Crew, Mr. Andy Wines.
This morning, 7:35, we get a text message from a realtor. They're closing at 9 a.m. this morning and said, hey, this is what the house looked like last night. What do we do? We still want to close. So after a couple text messages back and forth, we determined the job is going to be 1 3/4 trailer. Our trucks will be there at 11:30 this morning. We'll have it all cleaned up by 2 o'clock this afternoon. So that's what we do because we have the size and scope and capacity. Realtors love calling me at Thursday mornings and Thursday afternoons for a Friday morning close. So, right, I can do the nice pitch with the slide and everything else. Instead, I'm going to talk reality with realtors because over the last 8 years, we've been very successful. We've done over 10,000 projects helping realtors throughout the area. So it's all because of you guys and the referrals that you guys give us that allow us to continue to serve you and continue to grow our junk removal dream. So thank you.
Up next is Amanda Man.
Absolutely.
We know somebody with a really junky house.
Let's make it happen.
With so many large franchise junk removal companies in the market, how do you stand out from the competition?
Things that set us apart from our competitors and the big franchises in our area is our service hours. We're a 24-hour service. It opens up our windows to a whole other realm of clients, that being malls and movie sets. Both of those require us to pick up at night. And not only that, we service areas that our competitors won't go up to. For example, the Hollywood Hills. The Hollywood Hills area is a very steep and very narrow roads. These big trucks are very hard to maneuver up there. That's why they don't go up there. As a result, we're able to charge a little more because of that.
I think how we set ourselves apart is having our thrift store. I don't know any other junk removal company that has a thrift store. Also our service, our service is great. Our Google ratings are 5-star and we have not had an issue.
The simplest way to compete with the large franchises and your other competitors is to get out there and be part of your community. We're giving money, time, and dollars and volunteer hours to charities. We're putting on our own electronic collections events, giving back to the community free of charge. The big corporations have way too much red tape. In order to compete with the other local and regional haulers, give first without expectation of anything in return. Chambers, people that talk in the community, they'll see you and they'll give you a chance. From there, it's up to you to deliver an exceptional customer service.
Besides networking, what are some of the best ways to market your business?
So we just finished up a job for a client in this apartment community, and we're going to be hanging around some door hangers to the neighbors. That way we're spreading around our brand awareness. We listed the services we offer, how they can get in touch, and the free estimates, of course. You don't need to spend so much money on these. You could get 500 for probably less than $200. So when it comes to marketing, you don't have to rely completely on the internet. When it comes to these bandit signs, yard signs, they're not very pricey at all. You could get maybe 50 of them for about 150 to 200 bucks, and they're just as effective as any other marketing.
Keeping up your good reviews on Google is the best advertising you can do. Bend over backwards for your customer to make sure that they will give you a good review. I think it's very important to make sure your vehicles have your branding on them. So I get calls probably a couple times, 2-3 times a week, just because they saw my vehicles on the road. So for a wrap like this, with about 800 bucks. It's a very good price and it's ongoing marketing.
Over 15% of all of our new business comes from people seeing our trucks. The investment, about $3,000 to $5,000 given your market and size of truck, is absolutely worth it. When you go out there in this market, you want to be professional, you got to dress, look, and act professional. When we leave a job site, all of our customers get a thank you card, a pen, a magnet, and business card to encourage them to use us again, refer us to other people we know.
Can you share any marketing mistakes that we should avoid?
So on marketing, we're spending anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 a month, and that's all going into Google Ads. So when we first started, We try to run the ads on our own. It didn't work because at the end we were running it completely wrong. It was just burning our money and clients were asking for directions instead of getting leads. But now we have a marketing agency who took over. They're turning all of those into leads. Since we've made that change, our business has blown up.
After over 8 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on sales and marketing, this I know for sure. Every time I put money out there as an investment, there's a chance it comes back with friends, and there's a chance I never see it again. And yet, we continually test the market and probe to see what other avenues can bring in dollars. The key in your market is to try 10 different strategies over a period of a year. Run them for at least 90 days. Test the results and continue to put money in where the money comes back with friends. Instead of trying to prove a bucket that's not working might work someday. We've done the magazines and radio and all these different avenues, and yet at our core, being involved in the community, being relevant on social media, and having our trucks on the road are still the 3 top things we can do to make the phone ring.
How important is branding for your business?
We didn't want to go with a basic name like a first name, Junk Removal, Ricardo's Junk Removal. It doesn't sound professional. You're going up against the big competitors in the area. So you always have to remember, you want to leave a professional thought in your client's head. When it comes to designing the actual logo, we went with the gentleman online. It cost about $135. He basically brought the whole concept to life.
I had a pickup truck. People said, hey, can you take this for me? Can you take that for me? So everyone needs a buddy with a truck. And people stop me and say, I love that name. That's so great.
The name Camo Crew came out of my mouth, and then after that, I got smart people telling me exactly what to do. One of the first things we did is find a third-party marketing company that designed the logo. By partnering with third-party marketing companies, I allow our brand to build without me being the ceiling or capacity for creativity. Camo Crew Junk Removal is rebranding as Camo Crew Responsible Junk Removal in the coming months. Camo Crew and the camouflage are all about our veteran origins. I've served over 20 years in the United States military. Now I've taken this and combined it with all of our environmental initiatives and the responsibility we have as first line and front line recyclers to keep all this material out of the landfill. And so the rebrand to Camo Crew Responsible Junk Removal will set us out among the competition. Amongst the competition? Among?
What's your best advice on scaling your business?
So when I started out, I had 1 truck, obviously. Then I got a trailer. I actually had 4 trucks at one point that were making about $1,500 a day. COVID hit, things went bad. I had to regroup, and now I have 2 trucks. My goal is to have more trucks. More trucks is more money.
John, I'm gonna have you work out back and go dump totes. The key to our success is often I'm not performing any junk removal functions. When I focus on junk removal, that means I'm not paying attention to the other aspects of business. From day one, we've hired people to perform junk removal, so I can focus on sales, the people development, the numbers of the business, the marketing of the company. The best thing we've done to make ourselves successful is being consistent in our organizational processes. No matter what happens in our business, nothing moves without Jobber. All right, so here is our TOC, T-O-C, Tactical Operations Command. At the heart of this is our battle board, and this is Jobber at its finest. What we're doing here is we're laying out our plan for the day. We developed it the same way that we do in the military. I spent a year in Iraq running trucks. I spent a year down in Guantanamo Bay, and it's always the same thing. You have your plans. And then we can also see what's happening internally and externally. Internally, we can see where our teams are sorting. And then externally, we can see right now, first thing in the morning, okay, these guys are en route. They have an expectation of being at the job here in the next 12 minutes. We can also compare what's happening in real time to what the plan is by utilizing the map feature. The advantage of using a map feature in combination with our trucks in real time and the schedule is our operations team can look at what's happening in real time when customers call. We know exactly where our employees are. We know exactly how to route them.
Copy that.
Part of our consistency and communication is the way we start the day. Every morning at 7 a.m., we have a 5-minute huddle to go over one of our fundamentals of the day. Sometimes it's safety, satisfaction, or security. At 7:05, we go into the talk. This way, they're prepared with the right tools, equipment, personnel, and trucks. At 7:15, the guys get out on the trucks. They load their equipment. From 7:15 to 7:30, they're getting their trucks ready. They're making sure they got their gloves, all their PPE, all the dollies and buckets they're gonna need throughout the day. No later than 7:30, the trucks are rolling to get on their first locations. At that time, they're doing radio checks with operations to make sure we're in clear radio communication throughout the entire day. The biggest challenge we face is labor. We see this across the entire country. Less and less people want to get into the trades. I burped. Decaf coffee and fried chicken, boys. More and more people are unwilling or unable to take on physically demanding jobs. So we've overcome that by offering unique benefit packages and bonuses to our guys. We reward our guys for getting reviews. When they get a review, they get a cash bonus. They also get tips from our customers by doing exceptional jobs and taking care of them in their homes. We allow our guys to take things home from jobs.
Go longboarding.
And finally, we do quarterly trainings and quarterly outings. This allows team members to learn more in depth about our business, about the industry, and what they can do to make a greater impact here at Camo Crew Junk Removal. The key behind it is to hire people for the will that they have to work, not the skill that they bring. The skills can be taught. There are intangibles like the will and desire, work ethic, hustle, being hungry. That's what we hire for. Sweat out the new guys. You're 16 and full of piss and vinegar. We'll take advantage of that.
Before we go, what's the number one thing you would say to someone who wants to start a junk removal business today?
So if you're thinking of getting started in this business, the only thing I would recommend before jumping in is doing a ton of research. What areas you can dump in? Do you need permits, licensing, insurances?
Like I said, it's easy to start, but not necessarily easy to continue. You got to make sure you're pushing, and you can't just live on the one truck.
My challenge to you is simple. Focus on recycling. There's tons of junk removal companies out there that stack up their trucks and trailers and take them right to the landfill. In order to impact your community and differentiate yourself from your competitors, figure out a way to keep more material out in the landfill. Now what you're doing is solving the same problem of removing unwanted items from people's homes and businesses, and yet you're doing it in a different way. This is the best way to get started in this industry.